A man's perfectly calculated life is thrown into chaos by his wife's infidelity. He navigates the divorce with the precision of a quant and extracts his revenge by detonating her entire social world in a single, devastating move. Let me be clear, I am not a man of chaos. My name is Alistair Thorne, and at 36, I built my life on certainty. I am a quantitative analyst for a high-frequency trading firm. I deal in probabilities, risk mitigation, and absolute precision. My penthouse in the Kronos Tower, all glass, chrome, and calculated minimalism, was a reflection of my inner world. My wife, Serafina, 32, a brilliant but volatile architect, was the one beautiful, unpredictable element I had chosen to integrate into my system. 5 years together, 3 years married, it was a high-value asset. Or so the ledger showed. The thing about high-value assets is they are prone to high-risk failure. And the greatest risk to a man's emotional portfolio is betrayal. I've always held a cynical view on fidelity. It's a choice, not a compulsion. When a person cheats, they are saying, I value my momentary impulse more than I value the future we built together. It is a fundamental act of disrespect. The first sign of systemic failure appeared 4 weeks ago. A deviation from the norm that a less observant man might dismiss. Serafina became remote, distant. She started using a guarded, professional politeness at home. If I went to hug her, she'd turn just slightly, making the embrace feel formal. If I tried to kiss her, it was always the cool, unresponsive cheek I met. It was the physical equivalent of a locked door. I asked her about the stress of her latest, high-profile project, designing the interiors for the notorious developer, Darian Vance. She gave me the line every man dreads, I'm fine, Alistair. You're being overly sensitive. But her thumb was rubbing her forefinger, a tiny, involuntary tick she performs when she is actively lying to protect herself. This emotional freeze lasted 3 solid days, during which she actively rejected all forms of intimacy. Then one Tuesday morning, she woke up and the coldness was gone. She was warm, affectionate, and apologetic for being stressed. She was back to normal. But to my analytical mind, this sudden return to the baseline wasn't a resolution. It was a cover-up. I needed to confirm the variable that caused the deviation. The facts that I bypassed her phone, too many security protocols, and targeted her work laptop, which was connected to her cloud-based professional chat archives. I accessed her private messages with the icy calm of a forensic auditor. I wasn't emotional. I was methodical. I started by pulling her group chat, the Architects of Shade. It was an absolute viper pit. My wife and her best friends, Callista, Kinsey, Sloane, were engaged in continuous, malicious professional and personal sabotage of every other woman they knew. I archived the entire toxic feed, knowing this dirt would be useful for a hostile takeover later. Then, I opened her private thread with Callista. The truth was waiting for me, written in Serafina's own detached, selfish words. She detailed the site visit to Vance's estate. She confessed that Vance's physique was insane. She wrote, I think I initiated it. Just a flicker of the eyes across the drafting table, and the professional boundary dissolved. It was exhilarating, ally. A momentary chemical rush. I regret the necessary concealment, but not the moment itself. Then the true gut punch. She recounted me asking her if she was okay. He keeps asking what's wrong with me, but obviously he was better off not knowing, so I kept it to myself. I hate the lying, but it was necessary. I took clean, clinical screenshots of every line. I realized I wasn't married to a partner. I was married to an actress who had dismissed my concern while she was recovering from breaking our vows. The emotional shock was muted, replaced by a surge of clarity. My fear was realized, and now I had the data to execute the definitive solution. 2. The zero-sum negotiation. My objective shifted from salvage to punishment. Serafina had to pay a price that exceeded the value of the marriage contract. My first calculated move was securing my legal perimeter. I immediately retained Elias Vance, no relation to her conquest, thankfully, a divorce lawyer nicknamed the Wrecking Ball. His fee was astronomical, but I told him I wasn't paying for his time. I was paying for his ruthlessness. For 3 weeks, I acted completely normal, watching Serafina. She was relaxed now, thinking her secret was safe. The papers were drafted, signed by me, and ready for service. The trap was set. The confrontation took place in our kitchen, over a cup of expensive coffee. I have to ask again, I said, my voice steady. Why were you so distant a few weeks ago? I need the truth, she sighed, the fake irritation returning. Alistair, I told you I was stressed. Let it go. You're being paranoid. I put down my mug. Are you sure you weren't recovering from cheating on me with Darian Vance? The color drained from her face, and her coffee mug clattered onto the marble counter. Callista. That absolute bitch, she shrieked, instantly confirming the infidelity and cementing my belief that she was incapable of loyalty to anyone. She tried to deny Callista told me, but I waved it off. I didn't care who she blamed. I cared about her excuse. She launched into the pathetic, desperate defense. It was a mistake, a micro moment of weakness. I was ovulating Alistair. My hormones were spiking, and he was there at the wrong time. He pressured me. I laughed, a sharp, cold sound that startled both of us. You are an award-winning architect, Serafina. You can command millions in contracts. You're telling me you can't resist a client because your biology told you to? That's not a moment of weakness. That's a fundamental character flaw. And I know you wanted it as much as he did. You enjoyed it. She had no reply. She tried the contrition angle. I'm so sorry. It will never happen again. It was trivial, Alistair. People move past these things. Then came the final, fatal insult. I'll let you sleep with someone, to balance the scales, to make us even. That was the line. The assumption that my self-respect was negotiable. Our marriage is not a ledger you can balance with a transactional affair, I stated, my voice dangerously low. The trust is annihilated. The divorce is non-negotiable. I put the signed papers on the table. She was utterly blindsided. She thought her sorry and ovulation excuse would be enough. She signed the papers the next day, realizing that fighting Elias Vance would mean her entire professional network learning about her exhilarating chemical reaction with a client. 3. The detonation and rebalancing. The final settlement was standard, 50/50ths. I walked away with my equity and my sanity. She kept the penthouse, a hollow victory. I felt a stinging injustice. She broke the contract, yet the financial damage was shared. The moral ledger remained unbalanced. My revenge was not about destruction, it was about exposure. I wasn't just going to punish Serafina, I was going to eliminate her support structure. The architects of Shade, a toxic network built on gossip and sabotage, needed to be dismantled. I spent a week meticulously curating the most damning screenshots from her chat logs. I cross-referenced the participants, Serafina, Callista, Kinsey, Sloane, and their victims. I created a narrative of betrayal that was devastating in its simplicity. I established an anonymous, untraceable social media account. I formatted the screenshots into a 12-slide carousel post, making sure the text was crisp and legible. I titled it, The Kronos Chronicles. Inside the Architects of Shade, the caption was a detailed, surgical index, ensuring maximum damage. Slide 1. Serafina and Callista discussing sabotage of at Sloane's architectural pitch. Slide 5. Kinsey gleefully gossiping about at Sophia's husband's infidelity, with Serafina confirming details. Slide 8. Serafina mocking at Callista's recent personal struggles. Slide 12. A final collection of cruel, petty insults aimed at various members of the group. Source material, courtesy of Serafina Thorne. I tag every woman involved, the victims and the gossips, and hit post. Then, I deleted the account and destroyed the burner hardware. My involvement was over. The algorithm would handle the rest. The explosion was immediate. Their social circle combusted in spectacular fashion. The comments section became a theatrical battlefield of betrayal. Sloane posted a furious, public thread exposing Kinsey. Sophia, the victim of gossip, posted the screenshots, condemning the group's calculated cruelty. Serafina called, not crying, but spitting venom. You psychopath. You destroyed everything. My friendships. My reputation is ruined. You called our marriage not a big deal, Serafina. I replied, my voice calm, professional. I merely showed your friends that you viewed them the same way. I gave them the data you were hiding. She threatened to expose my job, my firm, anything. I let her speak until she realized that I still possessed the documented evidence of her client infidelity. She had nothing left to leverage that I hung up, the final calculation complete. I didn't seek emotional victory. I sought justice and definitive closure. I had calculated the cost of her betrayal, and I made her pay it in the currency she valued most, social standing and professional reputation. She is left in the ruins of the life she designed. I am free. My ledger finally rebalanced. The zero-sum game is concluded.